Come on up, Miss Kathy. We'll get you here in a second.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want to welcome you all to the Hello LLC. If you don't know, Hello stands for Helping Entrepreneurs Leverage Leading Edge Optimizations. More importantly, we have a done-for-you system to be able to pivot you from 2D to 3D, helping you with your foundation, helping you with strategies, new strategies, right? Not outdated strategies, but really helping you make that move and help you press some buttons at the end of the day. And today we're going to have an amazing conversation of decoding digital dollars, the fintech, the crypto, the blockchain revolution. And today we're going to have another amazing conversation utilizing ChatGPT 4, right? We're going to be asking her some questions, giving us feedback from facts and knowledge, and not just my uncle, my cousin, my brother, my sister, actually somebody that has put all this information together to relay it back to us, whether we are, a college educated, person, or a doctorate, or all the way down to a fifth grader. It does not matter. Today, we're going to demystify those questions. And we really want you guys to participate in this as well, to where if you have questions, we want you to open up the 4 most expensive things in the world. And that is a closed mind. That is a closed heart, right? That is a closed mouth. And more importantly, a closed hand on being able to invest in yourself and what you're doing and how you're doing it. And that's what this conversation is all about today, is really being able to open up to these new horizons, because times are changing, things are changing. The question is, are you changing at the end of the day? And so we want to welcome you all for joining us today in this amazing conversation. Once again, I'm going to say it again for you guys all. Don't have a hard head. As I shared earlier today, a hard head makes a soft ass. And a lot of the times we are so hard-headed in the way that we actually, look at things, and it costs us. And it's that technical debt. It's that ego. It's that pride. And more importantly, a lot of the times we share with people, oh, it's the fear. Oh, you're scared. But also on the other side of that, a lot of times people just don't know. And people have been bamboozled. People have been told the wrong thing. People have followed the wrong thing. And they just give up in life. And they're like, know what? I'm just going to sit my ass in this corner and I'm just going to live out life. And I get you. I totally get you. And we all could do that. But you sitting in that corner, not taking a risk to get the reward, not being able to adapt and adjust, you might as well go ahead and dig a 6-foot grave and in that corner, wherever you are, and just call it quits. That's why it's called life. And even, the other day we were watching the movie Jumanji.
Yeah, you go.
And the Jumanji movie with the new Jumanji
with Kevin Hart,
and The Rock. And it got to the point to where they lost all of their lives in the game. Almost. And The Rock was like, oh my God, I'm so afraid to die. I got one more life. And Kevin Hart was like, what are you talking about? We've always had one life to live. It was never like we have a game. And so often in today's society, we live our life as it is a game, as we are going to get these second opportunities and these fifth opportunities, or, oh, I just wait. But yet we're not learning, right, from our past. We're regretting from our past of what we didn't do. And then when another opportunity comes up front, we decide that we're going to do the same damn thing, not do nothing. And I posted something in our Pivot membership of, of a target range of, shooting arrows. One was shooting the arrows and it was missing the targets all day long. The other one was just the arrows sitting on one side and not taking a shot at all. And a lot of the times that's what we're doing in our lives, is that we're not taking a shot. We're not busting a move, especially as we showcase to you guys, our Web3, our metaverse, and being able to join in from, your cell phone, from your laptop, from your iPad. And that in itself, in that conversation, are you willing to experience something different? Especially today, we talked about, brand recognition, being able to increase your brand recognition by, 40%. How many of you would say no to that? How many of you would say no to 60% customer loyalty of repeated customers coming back? I sure hope you wouldn't say no.
Sure hope you got the rent money.
Yeah, sure hope you got the rent money and you're not saying no. And if you're wondering what that is, it's this thing called metaverse that can increase and do so many things. And I'm gonna be quiet about my favorite topic because today is not that day. Today is the day where we're going to be talking about blockchain, fintech, crypto, and we're going to be asking Tara these questions. We're going to be asking Chat GPT these questions, and we're really just going to have a great conversation today. So, with that being said, love, what would you like to share? Oh, I got one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, if you guys are in our actual Hello Plaza watching us right now, we want to kindly invite you to come and join the actual Kiss of Fame podcast that is happening this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Miss Roberta Pacino. You heard me, Roberta Pacino. Yeah, that name did not register the wrong way. You heard it. Miss Pacino will be having her Kiss of Fame podcast live in Metaverse from her cell phone that you guys can join from your laptop, your iPad, all of that. And you guys are going to be able to experience her amazing podcast called Kiss of Fame, where we're taking the podcast to a completely different level. No more having people go into Spotify, compete, looking at everybody else's podcast. Now Miss Roberta is going to be able to literally showcase her podcast and even more with her studio in the back. And she's going to be adding her gallery as we move forward as well. And so with that being said, that's what I had to make sure I got in there from Miss Pacino. So go ahead, love. What you got?
I love it. Well, hello, beautiful people. Yes, come check out that event on Saturday with Miss Roberta Pacino. She actually, the reason why she named her podcast Kiss of Fame is, as you know, her brother is Al Pacino. And so she's going to talk about stories and things like that are kind of that most people don't know, the general public doesn't know. And just, the fun of being, in the relationship of a kiss of fame, meaning you're in that realm. And so it's going to be a great time. She will be doing that a couple of times a month, so look for those and come out. Also, I invite you all, before we get started on this cryptocurrency conversation and blockchain conversation, Thursday, tomorrow, guys, come over, watch us live. We do our live. We're going to do a tour of the metaverse. We're literally going to go from like 5 different worlds, because that's what metaverses are called, and we're going to take you through a tour. So I know we always are like, push the button, come check it out. But it's not, look, David and I also understand at the end of the day, until it lands on your doorstep, it's not really important sometimes. We get it. So we're going to, if you just show up, kick back, bring your popcorn, we are going to tour the different worlds and show you the difference. And guys, there is a huge difference. So just tune in, grab your popcorn, because it's going to be visually, aesthetically pleasing and understanding like, oh, this is the complete difference. It is like having, a Hyundai. It's like having a Toyota. It's like having a Mercedes, a BMW, a Rolls Royce next to each other. We're going to take a tour of each. And that doesn't mean that any of them are of value or of lesser value or more value. It just, we're really going to show you the visual effects of what these other worlds lack versus what we are, a bit where we're at in our world. So that's tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern. You can just jump onto any live channel, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of those channels. You guys know how to catch us.
Hey, Miss Joyce over here in our fan base, and Gary over here in Clubhouse. How you guys doing? And Miss Francine over on LinkedIn.
And Lisa.
Miss Lisa's in there. There you go. Hey, Miss Lisa. Hey, girl.
So I'm excited about today's conversation. As you always know that a whole nother thing I need to learn. And right now I got a full-time job. I'm, getting my master's degree and all these other things, right? I was not about it. And so I don't know when the switch got flipped. And let me get that out correctly. But it did. And I now feel like, because I understand it and I understand the immense opportunity that is in front of us if we are knowledgeable, if we have the understanding, so that way we can make knowledgeable, educational choices. A lot of times in the whole fintech, blockchain, cryptocurrency arena, it's a lot of the FOMO. It's a lot of fear of missing out. People will fear you, like, oh my God, you got to get in now or you're going to miss out. And to be very frank, yes, there is gigantic opportunity in front of us if we have the knowledge, but we don't want people losing money by any means. And today we're not going to be giving financial advice or, investment advice. We're going to be sharing with you the knowledge that we know, things that you should be looking up and getting curious about. And if you've heard of, terms or like certain coins and, technologies, come up and ask those questions. I know a lot of things that I don't share because it's really intricate. And what I mean by that is it can get lost in the weeds. And it kind of be like talking, to a fifth grader about physics and, algebra. And it's kind of like, hey, how about we have simple conversations? And that's why David likes to slow me down and ask questions and build the kind of the playing field here.
Well,
And
more so, where I was, when you came to, talk to me about it, I'll be like, what are you talking about? And, and a lot of times when people don't know what they're talking about or have any idea, they don't want to focus on it, because then it brings out, I heard yesterday, ignorance, is more so just a lack of knowledge. And I'll take that all day long. I do not know all that I need to know about it. And sometimes we act like we know everything because we're adult, because we have a certain age, because we're this, because we're that. And we forget to, really think down that, hey, I don't know everything. And I need to be open to learning new things.
Well, I think sometimes why we've maybe that comes across, that pops up in people's lives, of the kind of know-it-all, or because guys, I speak from experience. I have come off as a know-it-all as well. It's the approach of how people share information. And there is a demeanor behind things. Like there's a demeanor of, what I say is what is so, and I'm not even open to conversation. Mm-hmm. Or there's a side of, hey, I've learned this, and in conjunction with what you're sharing, then you can move forward, and it's a more collaborative environment. And I will just honestly say that all comes down to us all living in survival mode. Yeah. We have been pitted through an education system, and a system that, all kinds of systems that we have, that we've just been shoved into having to know this information because we were, looked upon in a different light at a different time period in life, where, well, shame on you, should know that information, right? And so now we have to wear that badge of, that survival. And because the other thing is, if someone, I will also share this. If someone has nefarious intent, like they're out to hurt people, and they sense that you are very gullible and that you don't know things, then that is a back to the survival mode. We are in survival mode to protect ourselves so we don't take advantage of. And sometimes if people can sense that, they're out to hurt people or take advantage of them or feed them information that is not right, where it is, not showing up with integrity within the information you're sharing, there's just a room for people to get taken advantage of. And so, people don't want to get bamboozled. So that would be my 2 cents on it. But let's get back to decoding the digital dollar. So why did we name this the Decoding Digital Dollar today? Well, first of all, I'd like to point out to many of you, you're probably already utilizing a debit card or a credit card or Cash App or Venmo or Tap and Go on your phone, Apple Pay. You're probably using some form of payment already that is digital. You're not For example, you're not exchanging $5, $10 bills when you go to the grocery store, or $20 bills to pay for your groceries. You are paying within some sort of a digital format. So that is a digital dollar. That's where it is a bunch of numbers, ones and zeros and sequences on a computer system. And so we have moved away we are more a cashless society than we were a cash-based society now. So we are already there. And this is such a great conversation to have this week, guys, because there's really exciting. This is now, if you follow fintech, cryptocurrency, blockchain, this week there was some exciting news that has come down the pipeline, and possibly some more exciting news before the week ends. It's around, laws and regulations and approvals and things like that in the U.S., bills and whatnot. So I'm excited because we are now taking a giant step closer to having full regulation. And what that means is it makes it safer for people of the general public to want to participate and to feel like they're not going to get bamboozled. We just talked about that.
Yep.
And what then happens is that mass adoption happens, and mass adoption means those who got in early made some investments that were smart and long-term, not, in one day, out the next day, for a short-term get rich overnight. That's not it. For long-term investments, they will start to see massive returns on their investments. And so we are getting to the point where, you went to the casino and you got some poker chips, and, all of a sudden you took those poker chips home and they don't have no value. You're like, what the heck? These don't mean anything until I get them, back to the casino to cash them into whatever denomination. Well, now we're stepping closer to, you can be able to take those casino chips right out of the casino and they would still hold value. And so, that's kind of what the game is. And so we appreciate you all being here. Jump up and ask any questions again. But Mr. Jones, I know that we wanted to do a question-based format. And so this will help me not go 90 miles an hour and share too much into the where you guys are like, oh my God, information overload.
Yeah. And so,
because I can do that.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll ask you a question, and then we'll have Chat GPT answer as well. Oh
Lord!
Right?
You're going to fact check me on every one of them. That's how it feels.
We're not fact checking you whatsoever. But this right here is a prime example how people should look at how this AI is, right? Where you're in your job, and now there's this tool that people can utilize, and really, what's the use of you anymore?
Hey,
real talk. So here we go. One question of why we started this is, a lot of the times we hear people talk about, crypto, Bitcoin, fintech. And a lot of people think they're all one and the same. So if you could briefly,
that's the operative word, guys.
Briefly, please explain what each one is, if you could, so people can understand, and that way they can also be educated, so they're not running around here talking about Bitcoin and crypto thinking those are one and the same, and they're not.
Yeah. So let's do the analogy to keep it brief.
Perfect.
Because David made it very crystal clear to keep it brief. So I'll picture a tree in our minds. It can be a big oak tree, and we have a trunk, and we have roots that go very deep in the ground and wide in the ground, because we're, dealing with a massive oak tree that's been here 100 years. Anywho, I'm getting way too detailed in my analogy.
Brief.
But then off of the trunk, it grows up into large branches, and then you'll have smaller branches that break off the larger branches, and then you have leaves. And then if it creates any sort of like bean pod or whatever, right? Okay. So I want to draw that picture to you, because now we're going to attach the analogy of understanding. Now, they're all within the same family, but they don't all mean the same. And so let's go ahead and have a little bit of a breakdown of the tutorial of what that means. So the tree itself, in its whole, branches down, to leaves, to down to the roots, is the fintech. that would be what fintech would be. It's the overall arching industry arena, the word that kind of, capsulizes all of the other words. So fintech stands for financial technology. That's what it means. So we're in now digital age. That means it's finance plus technology, because it's the digital age that we're in. So they married them together. You got fintech. There you go. That's what fintech is. So now we would move over to the blockchain. The word blockchain is the custody portion of of cryptocurrency and NFTs and any other digital asset that is tokenized. It is known that lives on a blockchain. That would be like, for instance, you have your tree, the trunk and the big branches that come off. That's the blockchain, because that's the support, that's the structure, right? As well as the roots, the whole kind of encapsulation of these. The blockchain is the structure of what you would see the big oak tree as if you took away the little branches and the leaves. Okay, so that is blockchain. Blockchain is a series of blocks, digital technology blocks, that own and record, not own, let me take that word back, I'm sorry, I misused that. It is to record and keep track of it's a ledger. It's an open, transparent ledger that keeps track of all these transactions. So if wallet ABC123 XYZ sells to XYZ 8910, CDB, that is a transaction that you and I can see today, right now. We just don't know that wallet was owned by David Jones and the other wallet was owned by Tara Bush. So it is a digital central ledger that is open to the public. Now, let me just say something. How many of you can go into your banking institution and say, I want to see your ledger? Not many.
No.
Not many at all. If zero would be probably the number you would get, because they are closed private ledgers. They are not going to show you where the money's at or going or anything. Okay. So that is why I share that, because it's important for you to understand blockchain is to be an open transparency so people can see and govern what is going on. So if people see large transactions happening and then they figure out, where these wallets are tied to, and it's tied to nefarious acts or, bad things, then we have an ability to keep people of integrity and doing good. So that's the blockchain. That's what it does. Now, the leaves, the tiny little branches that are off the main branches are going to be different cryptocurrencies. That's what cryptocurrencies are. You could even associate all the little leaves as well on those branches are cryptocurrencies. Okay, so there are over 20,000 cryptocurrencies. Now, there is a difference between coin and token. That is, that's a little deeper into it, but I just want you to know, if you hear coin and token, those two words are not the same. Okay, just so you know that. Now, cryptocurrencies are what right now you would know as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, XRP, any of these. There's 20,000 of them, right? Ethereum, all of these are cryptocurrencies, but that's the actual name. So if you're walking around saying Bitcoin and you mean cryptocurrency in a whole, and you're calling everything Bitcoin, you're actually speaking to a specific coin, not cryptocurrencies in the whole. So I hope that really helps break down and understand that the analogy of the oak tree and how fintech, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and then these individual names of each cryptocurrency and how they all make up the puzzle, but they are not, Bitcoin is not the whole puzzle in its whole. Okay?
I love it, baby. That was awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so, going a little bit into the fintech era, right? Explain to us a little bit more about this fintech.
In the sense of for business, for why it's important?
For business.
Okay.
For business.
Well, for business in the fintech arena is, I shared a little bit earlier about we're already there. You're already going to stores. You're on Amazon. You have a debit card. This is all financial technology. And what's happened and what's happening behind the scenes is the simple fact that we are what we would all consider to be a digital cashless society, right? But what a lot of people don't realize is that the technology side of things has not caught up fully on the back end. How many of you have all seen Toy Story with the Slinky dog? And he's a big Slinky, and he's got his head on the front and his back end on the back. Well, imagine the Slinky dog as our current financial system. And what I mean financial system, I mean that as in your bank where you keep your money, any investment firms like a Charles Schwab or something like that, or a Vanguard or a BlackRock, any of those at the end of the day are what make up and comprise of, I was like, not compromise, and comprise of our financial system that we deal with today. And most of you know that if you have a transaction to go post to your bank account, it takes 3 to 5 business days. And we all know if we make that transaction on a Saturday or at Friday after business hours, it is not going to get posted until probably Tuesday. You're going to see a pending charge because, back to the Slinky dog, we have got the front half of the Slinky dog where we are fully digital. Everybody, as in, the general population, are digital. They're tap and go, their ATM cards, their Venmo, Cash Apps, they are digital. But the back end, the behind the scenes, which is the back end of the Slinky dog has not caught up because they're doing everything old school still. So we kind of put lipstick on a pig a little bit, where it takes, like I said, 3 to 5 business days for a transaction to post to your bank account, your ledger. You'll see a pending charge. That's the front half where, how many, like David was sharing last week, he doesn't know how many times he would overdraft, and he's like, but it said I had money.
But hold on, Dad. It said I had that money in there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was because, the transaction time the posting times between transactions took so long that you didn't really, that's why they had you balance a checkbook. And how many people are balancing a checkbook today? Not a whole lot, right? We're just logging on, looking at our bank account, because now in real time, they're showing you a pending charge. They're showing you a posted charge, right? And so your available balance has that pending charge already taken out of it, and you no longer have to look at your checkbook balance and look at you. How many of you remember that? I remember this. Like, my dad and mom made me balance my checkbook and when I was younger. And so the white line, the blue line, the white line, the blue line, and you would have to literally look at your checkbook. And as a high school student, I'd have maybe a couple $100 in there, and I'd be trying to buy something. I'm like, okay, well, I know I wrote a check for this.
Yeah, girl, you had more than I had.
Oh, I'm telling you, I hustled. I worked at the restaurant, y'all. So anyways,
you talking about high school or middle school?
High school.
Oh, yeah. Girl, I worked at the jewelry store.
I know that. I was like, that's why I was looking at you, because Mr. I sold like $2,500 worth of $3,500 worth of jewelry.
I have no clue about jewelry, but I sold it.
Anywho, back to the point.
Don't be
So, our checkbook ledgers that we used to keep, we would have to look at it and be like, ooh, I need something that's $300. And you're like, oh, no, I only have 200 or whatever. We are now real time. And what's going to happen is that the fintech switch will be made, meaning we will go full digital behind the scenes, and nobody will know about it because we are fully digital on the front end. The only thing that tells us that we're not fully digital is our posting days. The day that you see something that you literally buy and it posts immediately, not pending, like charge, pending, no, posts immediately. And I'm not talking about, David sends Tara $20 through Cash App and I send that over my bank account and that posts immediately. No, I'm talking about you go out to HEB, the grocery store, or, the Piggly Wiggly, and you buy your groceries and you swipe your card or you insert the chip or you tap and go, whatever it is. And all of a sudden you pull up your bank account on your app and it's posted. That is immediate. And if you're like, hey, it already does it now, I'm telling you, it's not doing it now because the bank is taking all of the risk by showing you a real in-time live transaction. And so fintech for business, guys, is just going to be able to, it reduces the cost. So no longer if you're sending money anywhere or you're paying, all these fees that we get feed to death on, like if you use your debit card or use your credit card, you got to pay a 5 or 10 or 3% fee or a 1% fee. We should no longer have that. That's going to be up to the companies. And if they get greedy, when people know that there's no fee and they're just charging a fee, people will stop using them. That's the economy we're in right now. People are literally boycotting people if they find out they're being greedy. So it will reduce the cost of exchanging money, posting money, sending money to almost pennies. For millions of dollars to be sent, pennies. So the other side of that is the likeliness of the quickness, is how fast it gets posted. Again, we're back to immediate. So it's going to be the speed, the time, the saves, and the money it saves. And that's why we're moving over. And last but not least, it's going to allow us to be able to send money around the world. Now, this might impact some and it might not impact others. But if you have family, for instance, we live here in Mexico and we know that there's people that, are living in the States and they send money back to Mexico or maybe, Colombia or whatever. Doesn't matter. They could send it over to Italy. I don't know. Anyways, you're sending money to family. You will be able to send it instantly. No longer will you have to I can do that on Cash App. Well, let me share something with you. David and I had an experience here where the pizza guy delivered our pizza, and for some reason, they will come and bring a terminal to the door so you can slide your card. Well, it wasn't taking the card. It wasn't, and we're like, there's plenty, what's going on? Well, it comes out that it was a United States bank account, so that's why they wouldn't take it. Well, the gentleman was like, I was like, look, I can go down and get cash out of the ATM right now, and give it to you, but it's going to be a 15-minute walk down the hill. And he's like, I was like, do you have some sort of cash payment system like Cash App, Venmo? I was asking him all these ones that we know in the States, and he's like, none of them. And then there's one that's come out by Google that they're allowing to be able to pay anybody around the world, where I can send money from point A, United States, to point B in Mexico through a cash payment system that will allow it to be paid. And that's how we were able to settle up. But it wasn't instant. It took about 30 to 45 minutes for that even to show up on his end. And, he just had to, move on down the road and go deliver his other pizzas on the trust-based system that we paid him. And so my point being is, we'll get over that. We won't have those issues anymore. If I need to literally pay for my pizza that comes to my door, it's just going to be a tap and go, because everybody will be on the same system worldwide. So I know that was a little in depth, but it's
that was perfect.
Crucial for us to understand the speed, time, and money it'll save us.
And, while you were talking about, the impacts of global, over 60% of adults globally use at least one fintech service, showing how widespread it has become already.
Yes.
And so, like Tara said, a lot of the times, you guys don't even much know you're already utilizing fintech, just like we've been sharing. You guys are already utilizing metaverse. Metaverse is nothing more than an experience and an atmosphere that we create. A metaverse doesn't exist unless people are existing. And in this Clubhouse room, in the fan base, in LinkedIn, right, on all of our social audio apps, from Spaces to our YouTube channel and all these other channels, right? This is where we are already in a metaverse world, and that's why we encourage you guys to open up your mindset and really be encouraged to learn these new things and not be stuck in the past. And I say that because, I'm 40 years old right now. And I remember growing up with my parents and me having to show them how to do fax to email, how to do emails, how to do text messages, how to do all this technology stuff.
How's that working for you now that you taught people to text messaging?
Yeah, I wish I would have not taught people how to text message now. And so, it's working for the benefit, and yet we're so stubborn about making the transition. And I'll use a big example for my entrepreneurs out there. Zoom. When you first got introduced to Zoom, it was like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to do that. And we were just calling people, or we were trying to find out.
Pop up on them?
Yeah, pop up on them. Or there was where you could screen share. You could get people's VPNs, and you could be able to take over their computer to do things for them on their computer.
Oh, I know.
And there was literally that whole entire transaction. And then Zoom came around, and boom, people were like, oh my God, this is so much easier.
I used to work at home back like with Jay and Lynn, and I would have to literally log into the VPN at work so I could, and like they could see my mouse moving around and me opening things as I was working.
Yeah. And that right there alone, just to try to get people to get that VPN was harder than ever.
Yeah.
And then the Zoom
sometimes
came around.
It connects, sometimes it
and then the Zoom came around, and even to this day, sometimes people don't know how to utilize Zoom appropriately, where you can share a screen from your computer or your phone, right? You can do all these different applications on your Zoom because we're not applying ourselves. We're just doing the basic.
Well, we don't. Well, we're back into survival mode.
Yep.
We don't have time.
We think we don't have
No,
time.
hold on. I understand the thinking part, but what I want to counterbalance that with is we as a society have been conditioned to be go, 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 go all the time. It is, if you are not busy, you are not up to enough. You are not being, you're not creating enough, and you're not being productive enough. Like, how many of you know people that will wake up and go from 5 o'clock in the morning till, midnight every day at 90 miles an hour. And you're like, that's not healthy. And we know that because we've been conditioned as a society, as i.e. school, wake up, get to school, go to school, you get a break, you get a recess, you get all that. The point being is, yes, we have time, but when we have time, because we are so exhausted, we just want to kind of be zombies. And I know that because from personal experience. And since we stepped out of corporate America and we get to be our own bosses, and we have to show up for our own business and clients, we understand the balance that is needed. And we understand how exhausted we were but we didn't realize it because we're like, okay, I got to go do this. And imagine people that have kids. They're like, oh, I got to go get the kids. I got to go do this. I got to go to practice. I got to go pick up some Billy Sue and Bobby Jean.
Please don't name your kids that.
Well, there's some people out there, but my point being at the end of the day was it's constantly on the go. So when you say, well, we could learn these Zoom things, we could, because we're not applying ourselves. That's the last of our things, because we're like, we know the bare minimum. I'm in survival. I'm exhausted. I want nothing but to have my happy hour that I deserve.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the technical debt.
Yes.
Knowing what we know now, that was the technical debt of telling yourself you didn't have time.
Exactly.
And you don't know how to do it. And now, as we continue to share with people, if you are not learning these things and catching up to these terms and these little things that you're saying, fintech, blockchain, crypto, and learning how to literally separate those and not think that crypto is the same as Bitcoin, then you're going to be in a world of trouble, and that's going to cost you. So that time that you spent watching your favorite football game or watching NBA playoffs, I call bullshit. That especially some of these TV shows, everybody has a favorite TV show, and you could take some of that time out to switch that out and watch a YouTube, watch this, do that, or even join our Pivot membership and watch a short 5-minute video that we have about how this is distinguished from one another, that people won't take the time. So that's why I always share, it's excuses or execution. And what I heard you share was a whole bunch of valid excuses, but they're still excuses.
No, at the end of the day, just people are stuck in survival. And at the end of the day, they're so exhausted that they don't want to make that choice because they can't expense the brain power. Yeah. That real talk. Yeah. And I'm speaking only from my personal experience. Yeah. I didn't want to learn new shit because I didn't want to expense the brain power because I was exhausted. I was tired. I've been plugged in all day. I want to be unplugged.
Yeah. And so with that being said, we want to thank you guys all for joining us today. We're going to keep this conversation going. The next thing I'm going to do, we're going to ask ChatGPT some of these questions that I just asked Tara. Then we're going to go on to the next round and do it again. But before we do that, I would love to hear from Miss Joyce, if you want to come up here and share. Chef Andy, Tracy. I see we got Miss Lisa over here as well. Miss Lisa's going to be having a room, I think, today, not too long from now. So we definitely want to support you as well. But Chef Andy or Tracy, you guys have anything you want to add or share?
Yeah, ciao.
Hey, brother, how you doing? Talk to us.
Hey, how you guys doing? Nice, very nice conversation. Yeah, I'm just getting back to the quickness of payment, and we see how Uber, which I take periodically back and forth when I'm traveling, how quick it is to pay, make that payment. It's so convenient, and also at the end after the ride, you can give your driver a tip, and that goes right on to the payment method. But I think that's one of the ways we're seeing the quickness in this case, the quickness and effortless and the convenience of using the new technology of, okay, everything's on the cell phone now. And I really appreciate that, because sometimes you don't have your card with you, but everything is stored on that app. So I guess one of the questions to ask ChatGPT, I think would be kind of cool, would be how quickly do you see the evolution of payments using traditional credit cards or debit cards being used? How quickly do you see the payments, whether it's Uber ride or whatever it might be, how quickly do you see the payments being instantaneously along the the ride, or what we're doing in commerce? How quickly? I think that'd be kind of a cool ask to see what ChatGPT says about that, because right now it's pretty quick using the credit card or the debit card in this case for Uber and stuff like that. So I'm just curious, how quick will that switch be turned on so more and more people can utilize that quickness and convenience of that payment service, which is really kind of cool.
Well, thank you, Chef Andy, so much for jumping up here and asking that question. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on it. We're going to ask ChatGPT what that is as well. But before we move on, I want to invite everybody to go check out Chef Andy's amazing business in a box. It is singingchefsauces.com if you are not in the clubhouse with us. So you can go check that out. And Chef Andy. Yeah, and so Chef Andy has his amazing sauces out there, his free recipes. Go get those recipes, guys, because they're delicious. They make me hungry every time I look at them. So here's my 2 cents on that question that you just dropped, Chef Andy, is how fast are we going to see that, payments be instant? When are we going to see that? What's the timeline on seeing that? So again, we're kind of seeing it right now, like you shared, within the Uber style of, hey, I'd make that payment. But and I know that sits there as a pending transaction on your bank account side, right? It could even be 24 hours, but it sets there for some time to be able to post. So my timeline is with between now and 2030. So 2030 with his 5.5 years from now, we will see full implementation. Now, I actually, if you want me to drill down on that, I see where 2027, 2028, so about 3 years from now, we will be fully implemented. The reason I share that, Chef Andy, is because all of you can go out to Google right now and you can Google the fact that U.S. House bill for digital assets was passed on the House floor earlier this week, yesterday, I believe it was. And it's going to go over to the other side, Senate, the end of the week. And then it will go up to the president's desk. And both the Senate and the president's office have stated that they will not be vetoing or standing in the way of this bill because they understand the necessity of this bill. So what does this bill mean? And why am I sharing it when you ask that question? Well, we can't get to instant until we have mass adoption. We can't get to mass adoption until we have regulation by the lawmakers here in the United States. Because again, the monopoly game that we play is that the board, the creators are going to make sure that they get their cut and their, fair share, and not just all of us out here running willy-nilly like the wild, wild west, exchanging coins or tokens that aren't regulated anyway. So yesterday they passed a portion of that. It's got to go move on to the next steps. They don't see any adverse reaction or anybody standing in its way to get that passed. And what that means is they are outlining who they want to start doing regulations. So in this bill, it outlines that they want to move the regulatory framework oversight over to the CTFC. So right now, before this bill gets fully approved, the SEC has full governance over cryptocurrency. And if any of you have been following it, the SEC has been like the bullies on the playground. They are stating that they are here to make sure that you and I as investors are not getting taken care of. But what has been proven out by judges and called out by judges, and this is not just you and I as creators saying this, the judges have stated SEC is overstepping their boundaries. They are abusing their power, and they are basically being bullies on the playground. And so they are now the House bill that was just approved, that's now going, down its little cycle here. And next week will probably be fully approved, because I know the end of this week is where the Senate will vote, and then next week it lands onto the president's desk. This will now create the first green light for the CTFC to be able to start creating regulations. So again, we're in an election year. I will tell you guys right now, a huge talking point between candidates is going to be digital assets, aka cryptocurrency, whatever they call it. A lot of times they call it digital assets as a whole category, but that's going to be a huge talking point. Now, guys, we don't make this political in any way, shape, form, or fashion. That's not what this conversation is. It's just giving you the information of where these things are going to be popping up and what people are going to be talking about to sway voters. The younger community, younger generations are highly in tune with cryptocurrency. Gen X and baby boomers are not so much. Nothing against that. Chef Andy, you're an anomaly. Anybody else who's in here that's in a Gen X or a baby boomer department, you're anomalies, because you're choosing to get educated about this information. And so what's going to happen is when candidates during this election year start speaking on this topic, it's going to sway the younger voters to one direction and the older voters to another direction, depending on who takes the opposition. Now, I want to share this. Again, we are not a political conversation, but unfortunately, in the United States, we can't really do much things until things are regulated, because if not, we have so many bodies of government that will come after us and sue us for, being out here operating without regulations. And so it's extremely important to understand at the end of the day that we have to be educated about what's going on and how to navigate that. And so the short and sweet of it, Chef Andy, is that next year we'll start seeing regulatory framework. So that's 2025. And then what the general public doesn't know, and only the other part of people that are really tuned into this know only half the story, because of course they're not going to tell you the whole story, is that, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat today, is that the simple fact is when regulations happen and we finally get regulatory clarity, all of the pawns are already in place. All of these large institutions have already connected with, these big, cryptocurrency blockchains, and have already built their systems behind the scenes, because it does not say anything that they can't do that. And now they're just waiting for regulatory framework to be complete so that way they can operate within regulations. And so that's why I say it could be as early as 2026 that we see blockchain cryptocurrency be introduced as a CBDC. A CBDC is, a universal kind of, it's a digital coin is what it is, a digital coin that will represent our money, which we're already digital right now. We just call it a dollar instead of a CBDC. Now, there's a whole conversation on that we can jump into that we're not going to right now, but there's opinions about, the regulatory framework around that in order to make sure that the government or nobody else oversteps their reach and keeps people limited in, by what they can or can't do or where they can or can't go using their money. So that's a whole different conversation. So the timeline, back to the timeline, Chef Andy, is I see regulations happening in 2025. It's going to start happening this year too, but because we're election year, this is going to be a talking point, and they're going to wait till the new administration shows up. And then we're going to have regulations come down the pipeline 2025, first of 2026. And then 2026, you're really going to start seeing a lot of people it being mass adopted, because they're going to start saying, well, you could pay by your debit card, but you'll save 10% if you pay with CBDC or your digital wallet, right? They'll start doing that. So 2026, 2027 is when we're really going to see that mass adoption. Does that answer your question, Chef Andy?
Yeah, obviously the regulatory laws have to be in place. There's no doubt about it, because we're not in that type of society that we could do a lot of things that aren't regulated. But yeah, that definitely says that quality-wise. I don't know. What do you think ChatGPT would say?
David is opening it right now. He's getting ready to ask that same question. I'm just going to tell you my 2 cents. It's probably going to say something like, I don't know, a specific timeline. But let's see what you got. David's getting ready to ask it. It's loading. Thinking.
Hey, ChatGPT, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Doing amazing. So I got a question for you, or Chef Andy has a question for you. He wants to know, with this new fintech and this new cryptocurrency that is coming about throughout the world, what is your thought process of credit cards and the traditional systems that we're using now? When will those shift over to the new financial sector or the new technology that we use? Give me 3 talking points or three reasons, or your thoughts behind that. She'll go longer if you don't give her.
Thanks for the kind words. Here are 3 key points on how credit cards and traditional financial systems might shift to the new fintech and cryptocurrency landscape. 1, increased adoption of digital wallets and cryptocurrencies. As more people start using digital wallets and cryptocurrencies for everyday transactions, we could see a shift from traditional credit cards to these new forms of payment. This trend is driven by the convenience and potential cost savings of using blockchain technology, which can reduce transaction fees and processing times. 2, integration with traditional banking. Traditional financial institutions are beginning to integrate cryptocurrency services into their offerings. Banks and credit card companies might offer crypto-based accounts and cards, allowing users to spend cryptocurrencies directly or convert them seamlessly into fiat currencies for use with existing credit card networks. 3, regulatory changes and security enhancements. Governments and regulatory bodies are developing frameworks to ensure the safe and secure use of cryptocurrencies. As regulations become clearer and security technologies improve, traditional financial systems will be more likely to incorporate these new technologies, leading to a gradual transition. These shifts will likely happen progressively, as both consumer demand and technological advancements drive the adoption of new financial technologies.
I love it. Chef Andy, do you have another question for ChatGPT?
No, I just love
Great to hear you loved it. Chef Andy,
I
what's
love
your next question for me?
Voice.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask it another question.
Peace to you too. If you have any more questions or just want to chat, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, so basically right now, what I'm hearing is the question is, will there be any
Got it?
extra
What's the question?
benefit in using, will there be any extra benefit in using this service with crypto and fintech, so on and so forth?
It's thinking.
Yes, there are several potential benefits of using services with crypto and fintech. 1. Lower transaction fees. Cryptocurrency transactions often have lower fees compared to traditional banking and credit card systems, which can save money, especially for international transactions. 2. Faster transactions. Fintech solutions.
Nope.
Oh, hold on.
She likes to take a siesta sometimes in the middle of her conversation.
Continue with that answer.
Join us in less than an hour. Curious about the future of finance? Tune in at 4:30 p.m. EST for Wisdom on Wednesday.
No.
We'll decode fintech, crypto, and blockchain.
So Chef Andy I forgot what question was
Chef
that.
Andy was asking what would be the benefits of utilizing cryptocurrency over the traditional credit card, and why that would be a benefit for us to use that versus the traditional debit card or credit card.
Got it. So Chef Andy was asking about the benefits of using cryptocurrency over traditional credit or debit cards. The main advantages are 1. Lower transaction fees. Cryptocurrencies often have lower fees compared to credit cards, which can save businesses money. 2. Faster transactions. Especially for international payments, cryptocurrency transactions can be processed much quicker. 3. Increased security. Crypto transactions are secure and reduce the risk of fraud and chargebacks. 4. Accessibility. Cryptocurrencies can be used by anyone with an internet connection, which can help reach unbanked, underbanked populations. 5. Privacy. Some cryptocurrencies offer more privacy for transactions compared to credit cards. Overall, using cryptocurrency can streamline payments and potentially reduce costs.
So we got another question for you. Can you give us some examples of what fintech is? Give me 3 analogies to explain fintech to a 5th grader.
Sure. Here are 3 analogies to explain fintech to a 5th grader. 1. Piggy bank apps. Imagine an app that's like a super smart piggy bank. Instead of just holding your money, it helps you save, tells you how much you have, and even gives you tips on how to save more. 2. Online lemonade. Think of your lemonade stand, but on the internet. Fintech lets you sell lemonade online, take payments with a phone, and even keep track of how much lemonade you've sold without using cash. 3. Robot banker. Picture a friendly robot that helps you manage your allowance. It tells you how much you've spent, how much you have left, and suggests ways to use your money better. All from your computer or phone. Fintech is like using cool tech to make banking and managing money easier and more fun.
I love that. So what would be your response to someone that says the dollar isn't going anywhere and won't be replaced by crypto? What's your thoughts and what facts and stats would you have to share with them that the dollar is going away?
If someone says the dollar isn't going anywhere and won't be replaced by crypto, here's how I'd respond. The dollar is indeed a stable and widely accepted currency, and it's unlikely to disappear anytime soon. However, cryptocurrencies are growing rapidly and have some compelling advantages that could change how we think about money. 1. Adoption rates. As of now, millions of people and thousands of businesses worldwide are using cryptocurrencies for transactions, investments, and even salaries. Major companies like Tesla and PayPal have started accepting Bitcoin, which shows significant interest and trust in digital currencies. 2. Cross-border transactions. Cryptocurrencies make international payments faster and cheaper. For instance, traditional bank transfers can take days and have high fees, while crypto transactions can be almost instant and cost a fraction. 3. Inflation resistance. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin have a limited supply, which makes them resistant to inflation. Unlike the dollar, which can be printed in unlimited quantities, the total number of Bitcoins that will ever exist is capped at 21 million. 4. Blockchain technology. The technology behind cryptocurrencies, blockchain, offers transparency, security, and decentralization, which can enhance financial systems. Governments and financial institutions are exploring blockchain for various applications, indicating a shift towards this technology. While the dollar remains dominant, these points highlight why cryptocurrencies are gaining traction and could play a significant role in the future of finance.
I love it. I love it.
Well, I want to know a little bit more, if you can dive in, of how cryptocurrencies will be utilized within our society, from commerce to sending money to other peers. Can you share more about how everyday living will be impacted by having a cryptocurrency or utilizing a cryptocurrency?
Absolutely. Cryptocurrencies have the potential to revolutionize everyday life in several ways. 1. Commerce. Cryptocurrencies can streamline online and in-person purchases. With crypto, you can buy goods and services directly from merchants, eliminating the need for traditional payment methods like credit cards. This can lead to faster transactions, lower fees, and increased privacy. 2. Cross-border transactions. Sending money abroad can be expensive and time-consuming due to currency conversion fees and slow bank transfers. Cryptocurrencies make cross-border payments faster, cheaper, and more accessible. You can send money to family or friends overseas almost instantly without hefty fees or intermediaries. 3. Financial inclusion. Cryptocurrencies can empower the unbanked and underbanked populations by providing access to financial services. Anyone with an internet connection can create a crypto wallet and participate in the global economy, regardless of their location or banking status. 4. Micropayments. Cryptocurrencies enable micropayments, allowing you to pay small amounts for digital content or services. For example, you can tip content creators online, donate to charitable causes, or pay for access to articles or music on a per-use basis. 5. Smart contracts. Cryptocurrencies like Ethereum support smart contracts, which are self-executing contracts with the terms directly written into code. These contracts automatically enforce and execute agreements when certain conditions are met, reducing the need for intermediaries and increasing efficiency in various industries, such as real estate, insurance, and supply chain management. Overall, cryptocurrencies offer numerous benefits for everyday living, including faster transactions, lower costs, increased financial inclusion, and innovative applications like smart contracts. As adoption continues to grow, we can expect to see even more ways in which cryptocurrencies impact our daily lives.
Yeah. I like that. Thank you. Mr. Jones, did you have a question for her?
Yeah, and if you guys are wondering, who is that voice? What is that voice? What is going on? That, my friends, is ChatGPT 4, where we're now able to ask questions and it's able to give us response back. And this is a free version that you all can be able to implement and utilize, as we shared yesterday from our helpful how-tos, where we went over and asked ChatGPT multiple different questions. So this is going to be something that we implement into our actual, weekly rooms as well, to where you're not just listening to Tara and I talk and share these things, where you also can get information from a worldwide, learning language model, which a lot of the times we remind people that business owners and entrepreneurs, we lead our business with our feelings other than the facts. Prime example, a lot of people are just focused, or should I say, when I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, they're focused on what they like, and they showcase their business on what they like and what's easier for them. Where you might focus your business on Facebook and you actually need to be on LinkedIn and TikTok, or vice versa. You just put your business on LinkedIn because you like LinkedIn, and you actually should be on TikTok and Facebook. And all of you should be on an average of 6 social media networks, because social media is changing like no other. And so us being able to ask ChatGPT these questions and her be able to repeat these things back to us is absolutely amazing. And the great thing about this also is that while I'm talking right now, she's listening to me as I speak. So she's going to actually literally have this all written out in a chat form when I get finished, that then I could take and chop up, do what I want to do, create social media posts on it, ask her to give me quotes based off the things that were shared. There's so many things that now we're able to implement with utilizing this AI, which I've been sharing with you guys for the longest now. That, this cryptocurrency, this fintech is our new financial system. This NFT and and the NFTs and the
Tokenization of digital
right,
assets.
is more so the infrastructure into this new world that we're hearing about, which is metaverse. And you all have to remember, or I remember when, if I wanted to get some money, there was this good old thing called MoneyGram, right? Or you guys might have some other names for it from around the world.
Western Union.
Western Union. This is nothing more than the evolution of Western Union, where your ass ain't got to stand in the line, have your ID, be a little embarrassed that you're asking for some change, right? This is my college days. That you're asking for some change, right?
Whoa.
Bring me some, give me some cash. Now it's instantly done. And a lot of the times we miss the fact that, yeah, you might have access to a bank and ATMs and easy access, but
did you know
people,
1.7 billion people do not?
Boom. That's exactly where I was going as Tara chimed in, right? Is that 1.6 billion people do not have access to a bank account. And this is where we share. A lot of times we got to get out of our own way of what it means to us, right? Because there's so many other people around the world that do want to be able to take advantage of these things. And also we remind people of facts as well. Here in America, I believe there's a little bit over, 1,200 millionaires that are made every single day. Where around the world, or the rest of the world, there's 3,400. There's double the amount of people that become millionaires with less opportunity and less, technology than what we have. What it comes down to is grit and will, not skill. And a lot of the times we think that we have to have these skills. Well, Tara and David, they know all this stuff. They're good at that. That's not my cup of tea. And you're selling yourself out of your will, that you're willing to learn these things and just showing up and educating yourself, which is what we ask you guys to do. Just press the damn button. Any button that you're going to press, I guarantee you, whatever you press, whether that's your phone, your laptop, wherever you are, it's not a nuclear code to blow up somebody. If your ass do got access like that, do not press our address here in Mexico, okay? And so we want you all to really be able to understand, to do something different than what you did yesterday and really start taking on this information, which is why I named another room, your dollar is being replaced. Learn why. Stop waiting. Right? Learn. And a lot of us are procrastinating in a lot of areas of our life, real talk, and we're going to get passed on again if we're not paying attention, just like with stocks, just like with real estate, just like when people came to you about network marketing and your ass said, nah, I'm good with that pyramid scheme. And I'm here to tell you, network marketing got me and Tara where we are right now, where we're digital nomads. We're living in Mexico. Don't have to wake up to an alarm. Our cat is our only damn alarm, and literally get to live our lives to the fullest because we have freedom, and we want that for other people if they choose that they want to do that. Yep. And if they choose that they want to cross the bridge, and if they choose, hey, look, I'm tired of doing the same old shit, we got you covered. We got a done for you system at that, where if you want to start the baby steps, you want to start at mid steps, we got you covered. And so, ChatGPT, I got another question for you. You ready? She got to get all that information that I just shared.
Got to catch up.
Yeah, she got to catch up.
Speaking of catch up.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now.
That's okay,
Our
girl.
systems are experiencing heavy load. Please try again later.
That's okay, girl. Here, answer this question for me if you can. Are there any security concerns specific about fintech?
Absolutely. While fintech offers numerous benefits, there are indeed some security concerns to be aware of. 1, data breaches. Fintech companies collect and store sensitive financial information, making them attractive targets for hackers. A data breach can result in the theft of personal and financial data, leading to identity theft and fraud. 2. Cyber attacks. Fintech platforms are vulnerable to various cyber attacks, including phishing scams, malware, and DDoS, distributed denial of service attacks. These attacks can disrupt services, compromise user accounts, and steal sensitive information. 3. Regulatory compliance. Fintech companies must adhere to strict regulatory requirements to protect customer data and ensure financial security. Failure to comply with regulations can result in fines, legal issues, and reputational damage. 4. Third-party risks. Fintech companies often rely on third-party vendors and partners for various services, such as payment processing and cloud storage. However, these third parties may introduce security vulnerabilities that could compromise the integrity of the fintech platform. 5. Emerging technologies. As fintech continues to innovate with technologies like blockchain and artificial intelligence, new security risks may emerge. It's essential for fintech companies to stay vigilant and proactively address potential security threats. Overall, while fintech offers convenience and innovation, it's crucial for users and companies alike to prioritize security measures to protect against potential risks and vulnerabilities.
I love it. I love it. And guys, look, if you guys have any questions, please put it in the chat or come on stage and ask. Welcome, Coach. Welcome, Dean. Welcome, Miss Virginia. Welcome, Miss Joyce. Welcome, Brian. How you doing? Miss Lisa, how you doing? As always, and all of our people over here on Spaces as well. We want you guys to be able to also come and join us in the metaverse. Yes, the metaverse, where you can join the metaverse from your cell phone. I put a link in the actual chat in both Fanbase and Clubhouse where you guys can go and you can literally click on that link and it will take you to go download an app. You then are able to literally, come back and hit that link that says Hello Plaza again, and boom, it will jump you right into our Hello Plaza where we're showcasing at live right now on all of our audio, our live streams channels as well, from Instagram, from YouTube to Spaces. We're also live in Twitch as well. So we just don't tell you guys, to get out on social media and utilize these different platforms. We're doing it. So we're not asking you to do something that we're not doing. And we have a way that we can show you exactly how to do it, right? And be able to utilize your time more effectively, especially if you join our Pivot membership like Chef Andy has, like Miss Marilyn has, and really be able to pivot your business into the future and let alone get out of your own way. And so, with that being said, Miss Marilyn, welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing? Hopefully all is well. Our early education specialist is in the room with us as well. For those of you that are on Fanbase as well, she's in class right now, so we're not going to ask her any questions, but good to go. Love, did you have anything you want to share? And I'll put Miss Marilyn's biz in the box up here at the top and also in Fanbase so you guys can check out what Miss Marilyn has been up to also.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I just want to share, again, not financial advice, but this is just strategy, just kind of sharing out loud, thinking out loud. You guys do what you want to with it. But a lot of people go, well, okay, you have made a lot of sense and ChatGPT's connected dots and this makes sense. I want to be a part. I want a piece of the pie. Like, how do I get a piece of pizza?
I want some.
By the way, I just want to share a little story with you guys that back in, I think it was 2008, there was a gentleman for 2 pizzas. He gave the pizza place $10,000 worth of, well, what was at that point was not $10,000 worth, but his pizza came up to like $25 or $30, and he gave away and paid for his pizza in Bitcoin. So at that point, it was only worth the Bitcoin that he had. I think it was 2 Bitcoin and it came out to like $30, right? So $15 each. Okay, well, 2 Bitcoin today, each Bitcoin's worth 70,000. So I just want to share that with you. Now that I shared that little story, I scared all of you going, oh my God, I don't want to ever get rid of my, how do I not be the pizza guy? And it's when regulations happen, it's going to basically level the playing field to where you're not giving up, like, for instance, 2 Bitcoin that are now worth $140,000. And back then they were only worth $30. So that is part of why you need regulatory framework. So that way the price settles on whatever system, current blockchain, I should say, that we end up that all of the large institutions and the Federal Reserve and all that plug into. Right now, again, I could go way off in the deep land of, because I've researched all that and who and how they're connecting. But I will just say this, guys, ChatGPT is not going to share this with you because, again, it's a liability issue that they can't be giving away information like that, because they can't be they have to manage expectations and not get sued. But I will share this from a point of just my knowledge of gathering, and is that, the regulatory framework will then create mass adoption, because then at that point it's safe. People will all want to be able to use it. But when I talk about the institutions like a Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, Citibank, any of these, HSBC, any of these large institutions, or the Federal Reserve, they already have the systems in place. And why do I know that? Do you just have a relationship with all these banks? No.
If you do, tell them to put some money in my account.
I know, just drop $1 million in there. No, it's not that. It's the fact that they have to publish this information, but because there's so much noise that's going on geopolitically and things like that, and politically, it drowns out the systems that are being created on the backside. So if you got to Google or DuckDuckGo or, Bing, whoever you search, whichever search engine you use, I would suggest you go out to something not like Google, because Google has been known to maybe not show you all of the results that should be shown.
Why would the power let you know?
Exactly. So we utilize DuckDuckGo. You can go out to a Google page and just type in DuckDuckGo, and you just download an extension. And at that point, the reason why you do that is that now you're getting some truer information that's not censored. Google has a censoring issue that they do, so you're not always getting that prime information. They're curating the story that they're telling you. But you can go out and you can type in Bank of America digital asset system, or Bank of America's, who are they partnered with as blockchain partners. You can, something in those realms. Wells Fargo is, JP Morgan, all of them are connected, but they've already partnered with blockchains behind the scenes and already have systems in place, because they have published articles about it that they have released to be published. And so they have to tell you what they're doing, but they don't have to make it mainstream. That's why you don't see it on the main news and all that. So I share that, guys, so that you understand that it's already, the dominoes are already in place. And once regulations happen, it's going to be a very quick mass adoption, because the big institutions are already plugging their outlets into the systems that are already created to make our lives instant. The systems are already created. They already are there. You could already utilize them right now. However, because there's not regulatory processes or regulations around it, of course, people don't feel comfortable, and they don't have an FDIC or something to lean back on if, the bank account or their bank collapses or something, right? There's not an insurance safety net. And so because of that, we don't want to lose our hard-earned money. Now, I'm going to share this, guys, because I think it's important, is that I heard ChatGPT earlier talk about, digital currency, cryptocurrency, and if you had an internet connection. Let me just say this. Not all cryptocurrencies that are out there need internet connection, because that is something that comes to the forefront of, well, if we go all digital and it's all technology based, technology needs power. And if the power goes out, I can't pay for, my goods and services. Like now I could just whip out a $20 bill and pay for my goods or whatever at the grocery store.
Half of y'all ain't got that right now.
Well, that part, nobody carries cash with them. But what I'm trying to share is there are, some blockchains, utility blockchains out there that are systematic, and they run with or without internet. And the reason they do that is because if the power ever goes out, the money will continue to move as accordingly.
Hello.
So that's really important. Now, I will tell you that's not Bitcoin, that's not Ethereum, that's not Doge, that's not Shiba Inu. It's within the ISO 222 classification. Go out to your web browser and type in ISO space 20022, hit enter, and you're going to get a plethora of information. You can also go out to YouTube, or guess what? We have this amazing membership for $7 a month that has all of this information in it. I've already curated these videos for you. I pulled it from trusted sources that, do their due diligence. They are not trying to pump you a service or pump you to buy a product or a cryptocurrency. They just want information to be out there so people like you and I can understand the basics, so we understand the playing field. So you can join that at thehellopivot.io and jump into our pivot membership for $7 a month. That's less than $1 a day, guys. And you don't have to go find it and think, oh my God, do I got the right thing? Do I not got the right thing? I've already taken the guesswork out of you. It's information and videos that I've used to learn. People that I, follow within the social networking status that have, high levels of integrity. Most of them are ex-bankers, lawyers. They are specialized, attorneys that specialize within the digital asset, space. So that way, even tax our accountants that are specializing in that. So they start understanding it from a regulatory way and sharing it so we understand the playing field. So that's really important to know that not all cryptocurrencies need internet. And so if power goes out, you don't have internet, you'll still be able to utilize it. Anything else that, is just popping and cracking. I do want to say, for anybody that has any questions, drop those in the chat channels. We're happy to answer that for you.
Yeah. And so, more importantly, guys, look, before we get out of here, like we said, tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we want you all to come and join us as we go through a full metaverse tour. We have been bamboozling you guys. We have been coming up with these analogies of,
we've done you a disservice, and
we've done you a disservice in showcasing, of what really truly the metaverse is and how we've been able to see it. And if you are watching us live right now, you will see that this isn't Sandbox, this isn't Fortnite, this isn't Decentraland, this isn't Horizon Worlds. This literally is a completely different world that we've been able to find within the metaverse that allows you to implement and utilize your cell phone, your laptop, your iPad, and your VR headsets, to where tomorrow we're going to be doing a discovery on all these different worlds, because the disservices field trip, right? Get your permission slips line. And what we've been sharing with you guys is that, hey, you've been watching your kids play Fortnite, you've been watching your kids play Sandbox, and we're like, yeah, that's metaverse. You should be in the metaverse as well. And we've done some more discovering in these particular, arenas. And I was like, ooh, shit. We kind of ain't been telling the whole truth, because this is blocky. This is, real static. And one of them, and most of them, all of them, you only can get in through your actual computer, which most people aren't utilizing their laptop. And so, this is really, we're not doing you guys due justice, especially when you see your kids just playing games. And that's one of the biggest hurdles that we have to overcome, that metaverse is not just about games. It's not just about running into walls and boxing and things of that sort. Believe it or not, there's 1.8 billion people that are utilizing. No, I'm sorry, not 1.8 billion. 8 billion people, 8 million people. Let me get my numbers right.
Damn, that's the whole world.
Yeah, 8 million people that are utilizing metaverse to work out. And so if you're looking at a way to, get in better shape and you don't want to go to the gym, you don't want to get a personal trainer, I encourage your ass to go get those Oculus headsets that now you can get for $200 for the Quest 2, right? And go get your butt in there and start, exercising at the house with a trainer that's going to know your every motion, just as one example, right? And this is where the metaverse is definitely going to take us to a whole new level, to where I continue to remind you guys all, your ass is already utilizing metaverse. Ladies, when you put that filter on, that gold glamour filter, or you've tried the ginger filter, or on Instagram you change that filter, on your pictures, right? You already, that's metaverse. Hello. And so this is where we really want you guys to open up that mindset.
Open,
right? Like Mervyn's, open up your heart, open up your mouth, more importantly, and ask questions as we've asked you guys to do now. If you do have any questions, ask away. About fintech, about blockchain, about this crypto. This is what this is all about. Is for you guys to be educated, so you're not out in the streets and you telling people that crypto and Bitcoin is the same thing. It's not. Okay. And so we just talked about that, and I'll even ask ChatGPT here in a bit to give us even more distinguishing some examples of how they're not the same. And really, we want you guys to come and join us tomorrow at 6:30. Like I said, 6:30 tomorrow. I'm not going to do any rooms, right? You're going to have to come and join us live. Or I might do a room, I'm not sure, where I can give you guys directions. And it literally is in the link in our Biz in a Box that shows you exactly all of the directions. And if your ass downloaded Zoom, you downloaded Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Clubhouse, Fanbase, it is a whole lot easier than any of those. You don't have to give no email address. If you don't want to, you literally go download the app, come back to our Biz in a Box, hit that link again, and boom, it drops you in there. And later on, if you do want to create your avatar or create an account, then that's when you can, put in your email address. Because I know that's the first thing I think about is, oh my God, I got to fill out all this information. I got to press a couple buttons to feel and experience something new. Huh. And this is where we want you guys to really be able to, come and join us and learn more about our Hello Plaza in the metaverse. Yeah. So let me ask ChatGPT while we wait and see if anybody has any other questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Let's ask her. Let's see what she got. We're gonna pull her up. Let's see.
Loading.
Hey, ChatGPT, how you doing today?
Hey there, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How about you? What's on your mind today?
So if you could, can you give me 3 examples of how Bitcoin and crypto are different? Because a lot of people are assuming they are one and the same, and they are not. Can you give us some brief descriptions and also some analogies of how they're different?
Absolutely. Bitcoin is a specific type of cryptocurrency, while cryptocurrency is a broader category that includes other digital currencies besides Bitcoin. Here's an analogy. Think of cryptocurrency as a category like fruits, and Bitcoin as one specific fruit, like an apple. Just like there are various fruits like oranges, bananas, and grapes, there are different cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Ripple, and Litecoin. Another difference is their purpose. Bitcoin was created as a digital currency to be used for transactions, similar to traditional money. Other cryptocurrencies, however, may have different purposes, like smart contracts, Ethereum, cross-border payments, Ripple, or privacy, Monero. Lastly, the technology behind them can vary. Bitcoin uses a proof-of-work consensus mechanism, while other cryptocurrencies may use different consensus mechanisms like proof of stake or delegated proof of stake. It's like different car engines powering vehicles on the road. They all get you from A to B, but they operate differently under the hood. Does that make sense? Let me know if you have any more questions.
That does make sense. I greatly appreciate that. So what would be a great analogy utilizing understanding what fintech blockchain, cryptocurrency, and then like Bitcoin, Ethereum would be. Can you break that down in an analogy that a 5-year-old could understand?
Sure thing. Let's imagine a playground. Fintech is like a big toy box filled with lots of different toys. It's all about using technology to make money stuff easier, like paying for things or borrowing money. Now, blockchain is like a special notebook that everyone can see, but no one can change what's written inside. It's like if you draw a picture in a magic notebook, everyone can see it, but nobody can erase it or change it. Cryptocurrency is like a special kind of toy money that you can only use in the playground. It's not like the money you use to buy ice cream, but it's still valuable for trading toys with your friends. And finally, Bitcoin and Ethereum are like two different kinds of special toy money. Bitcoin is like a gold coin, and Ethereum is like a silver coin. They're both valuable and can be traded for toys, but they're not exactly the same. So, fintech is the big toy box, blockchain is the magic notebook, cryptocurrency is the special toy money, and Bitcoin and Ethereum are different types of toy money. Does that make sense?
It does.
Let me know if you need more explanation.
It does. Thank you so much. So my next question is, what is tokenization and how is it associated to blockchain and cryptocurrency?
Think of tokenization like turning something into a special kind of digital token. It's like taking a real world asset, like a piece of property, a piece of art, or even a share in a company, and turning it into a digital token that can be bought, sold, or traded on a blockchain. Now, how does it connect to blockchain and cryptocurrency? Well, blockchain provides the technology to create and manage these digital tokens securely. Each token is recorded on the blockchain, which acts like a digital ledger, keeping track of who owns what. Cryptocurrency comes into play because sometimes these digital tokens are bought, sold, or traded using cryptocurrencies. So, tokenization is like making real world assets into digital tokens. Blockchain is the technology that makes it possible, and cryptocurrency is sometimes used to buy and sell these tokens. Does that clear things up? Feel free to ask if you have more questions.
So that it does make sense. Thank you so much. So does that mean like when everything's regulated and we can do tokenization and they tokenize the Mona Lisa, does that mean I could have fractional ownership in the Mona Lisa?
Exactly. If the Mona Lisa were to be tokenized, it would mean that ownership of the painting could be divided into smaller pieces or fractions represented by digital tokens. So you could potentially own a tiny fraction of the Mona Lisa, along with many other people who also own fractions of it. This idea of fractional ownership opens up opportunities for people to invest in assets that were previously out of reach, like famous artworks, real estate properties, or even shares in expensive companies. It's like everyone chipping in to buy a big pizza and then each person getting a slice based on how much they contributed. Of course, the details would depend on how the tokenization is set up and any regulations that might be in place. But in theory, yes, you could own a piece of the Mona Lisa through tokenization. Does that sound like an interesting concept to you?
It absolutely does, because at the end of the day, like you shared, they're going to be able to digitalize and tokenize our houses, our property, the deed to our house, gold, silver, any sort of artwork, or whether it's a sculpture or a painting or any sort of trinket. We'll be able to even digitalize services. Is that correct?
Exactly. Tokenization has the potential to revolutionize the way we think about ownership and trading of assets. Anything with value could potentially be tokenized and traded on a blockchain, from real estate properties and precious metals to artwork and even intellectual property rights. Imagine being able to buy and sell fractions of your home or your favorite piece of art with just a few clicks online, or investing in a share of a company without needing to go through a traditional stock exchange. Tokenization opens up possibilities for making assets more liquid and accessible to a broader range of investors. And you're spot on about digitalizing services too. Tokenization could extend beyond physical assets to include services like music streaming subscriptions, online courses, or even time-based services like consulting or freelancing work. It's an exciting concept with vast potential to reshape how we interact with and invest in assets of all kinds. Does that sound like a promising future to you?
It does. So I have a next question. How can tokenization revolutionize the business world and impact the bottom line of businesses when their cost and their sales?
Tokenization can bring several significant benefits to businesses, impacting both their costs and sales in positive ways. Firstly, by tokenizing assets, businesses can unlock liquidity and access to capital. Instead of holding on to illiquid assets like real estate or art, businesses can tokenize them and sell fractions to investors, raising funds without needing to sell the entire asset. This can provide a steady stream of capital for business operations or expansion projects. Secondly, tokenization can reduce transaction costs. Traditional methods of buying and selling assets often involve intermediaries like brokers, lawyers, and banks, which can be costly and time-consuming. By using blockchain technology for tokenization, businesses can streamline these processes, reducing fees and administrative overhead. Additionally, tokenization can improve transparency and security. Blockchain provides a tamper-proof record of ownership and transactions, reducing the risk of fraud and increasing trust among investors and customers. This enhanced transparency can attract more investors and customers to businesses, boosting sales and revenue. Moreover, tokenization can enable new business models and revenue streams. For example, businesses can tokenize loyalty points or rewards programs, allowing customers to trade them with each other or redeem them for goods and services. This can increase customer engagement and loyalty, driving repeat business and higher sales. Overall, tokenization has the potential to revolutionize the business world by providing new avenues for fundraising, reducing costs, increasing transparency, and enabling innovative business models. Businesses that embrace tokenization early on stand to gain a competitive advantage and improve their bottom line significantly. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
If you have any more questions or need further clarification, feel free to ask.
Absolutely. So, guys, that's the crazy thing about this is that we've actually already implemented tokenization into our business to where when you do come visit our Hello Plaza in the metaverse that you can join from your cell phone, your laptop, your iPad, whatever, or your VR headsets, you earn our Hello coins. And as you earn our Hello coins, we have a shop where you can be able to have snow, you can be able to have another golf cart, you can be able to, implement some of the actual 3D images that we have in our actual Hello Plaza, storefront and our plaza, where even we're getting to the point to where now you get a certain amount of points, you'll get a free, you'll be able to buy a biz in a box. You'll be able to buy a Hello AI MotionWorks. You'll be able to buy all of these things that we've already tokenized in our actual platform. And this is where we share with you
and
guys.
how do they get those tokens right now?
How do they get those tokens? Every 5 minutes that you spend in our Hello Plaza, that is one token, right? And that's bringing brand recognition. As I shared this morning, the metaverse can increase your brand recognition by 40%. Imagine you being able to tell your clients and your customers, hey, if you go to my Hello Plaza and you're able to spend time in my actual, metaverse, that gains you points. Please believe, whether they're using their laptop or whether they get in from their phone, I got information laid out through my metaverse in different places that they can go back. Listen to me. They can go back to the traditional Web 2. Where they can go back to my website and they can check out what our biz in a boxes look like, where we help people with their foundation and get rid of that crusty, dusty ass link tree or whatever website you're using. And more importantly, be able to show you how you can also get into our Hello storefront. What we might do is, we might actually put it up to where the person that can get to, 5,000 points gets a Hello storefront, on us by spending time in there. And so these are things that literally you can be able to implement into your business if you are a forward-thinking person. And this is what we share with people. You better get ahead, because there's going to be two types of businesses. One that implements AI and metaverse, and the other won't be here anymore. And ask BMW, ask Gucci, ask Nike, ask Hyundai, ask JP Morgan. They've already implemented into the metaverse. Samsung is in Sandbox, Fortnite, Decentraland, Horizon. Sandbox ain't playing. They are there. Or should and Samsung, I'm sorry. Samsung has taken this full-fledged because they know where it's going. And if you really want to be honest, Samsung and Apple kind of stole some of Samsung stuff. So Samsung kind of been ahead of the curve for a hot minute. We just know Apple because it's Apple. So, hopefully nobody comes after me being a Samsung person. But I'm just saying with you guys, this is one of those moments that we really wanted to have this conversation with you guys, as we always do in our weekly rooms that we have. Tuesday is our Helpful How-To Tuesdays. Yesterday, we introduced you guys to this voice recognition of utilizing ChatGPT. So those of you that have just been typing your ass away and one-handed typing or don't know how to prompt and things of that sort, you now can talk, which is the great thing. I know I'm a better talker than typer, and that might be you as well, where you heard us have a conversation, and even in this conversation, it's going to write down all of these things, and I can copy this chat and do whatever I want to with it later. And so, today we talked about, decoding the dollar, the digital dollar, why the dollar is being replaced. And then tomorrow, like I shared, I really want you guys to come and join us tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mark your calendars and come and take an actual tour, a field trip of all these different metaverses.
Field trip!
That is out there that you might seen, you might not have seen, but we definitely want to up the ante for you all to make that pivot. And as our mentor Casey from last week shared, he said, what we're doing what multi-billion-dollar companies are looking at right now, and we're making it accessible for individuals and enterprises that want to do the same thing. Because if you wait too late, then it's going to be hard as hell. Just like right now, trying to get in the Sandbox next to Snoop Dogg, that's going to cost you well over $100,000 out the gate. That's just the land itself. In the last 12 months, over $12 billion has been spent on metaverse. So there's been people that have been saying, "Oh, this metaverse ain't nothing." Nah, 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 nah.
You're talking about the $12 billion that just went into, metaverse?
Yeah.
Do you know that there's been over $80 million that has been flooded into the cryptocurrency blockchain market in just the last 20 or 48 hours because of the U.S. House bill that is going through approval? Like, there's money out there. There is big money out there, big money that is sitting on the sidelines waiting for the right opportunity to come in. Cryptocurrency, blockchain, it's the regulations. Yep. Metaverse, there is no, they can get in right now, and they are.
Yep. And even furthermore, right, when you were sharing with me about all these restaurants that are closing.
Yeah.
And how that's impacting, their overall sales. This is all part of the game. These big companies know what's up. They know where we're going, where they don't need a physical location anymore.
Nope.
Subway already has a metaverse set up where if your ass wants your Subway, just come on in our metaverse world, look across the screen, and it's going to get delivered to you. 90% of you are already getting food delivered to you. You're not going to the location. Hint, hint. And so this is where we got to think ahead of the curve. And so definitely come and join us and learn more about us. You guys, make sure you follow each other. I've made sure I follow you guys as well on all of these platforms. You got to give love to get love. So make sure we share, support, and show up for one another. That's how we all grow. Collaboration is the new currency, but it's the energy that you have towards currency, right? And a lot of the times it's stingy energy where you do you, I'm gonna do me, you're gonna have to support me first before I support you. I don't know you, you might get more than I get. And I'm here to share with you, as we move into this 3D immersive world, there's enough abundance for us all. And there's no need for anybody to be number one, because we're moving to this global economy to where we all just need a little piece of the pie to make it to where we all live. And as Tara has been sharing with me with this new world dominance, this new world change that's happening, and as
awakening,
as I continue to share with you guys as well, this AI is just the beginning. In November 2022, we were just typing our asses away at ChatGPT. Now, today, I'm able to talk to this damn thing like it's nothing. You heard how it sounded. This AI, hint, is going into these damn robots. We've had the machinery to do all of the machinery. We just didn't have the brain to put in this machinery. Now we got the brain. This AI is getting put into this robots that we've been having. Johnny Five, what's the cartoon movie? I Will, right?
Oh yeah.
Will I or
Will
whatever,
I
Will
or
I,
yeah,
whatever it
something
is.
like that.
They've been telling you where we've been going. And if you've been following me on TikTok, you definitely can see Bumblebee ass in the back at Panda Express cooking your Chinese food that's going to be hitting your local town very, very soon.
AKA a robot.
Yeah. Yeah, most people might know.
Yeah, then
right?
people don't understand the Bumblebee.
in the back cooking
Who
Panda
was
Express.
Bumblebee?
Right?
The Transformer Bumblebee,
And
y'all.
so we are there. And so those of you that do travel, you understand the bartenders are being replaced. You understand that if you went to the airport, that there's no more waiters anymore. You literally order online and a little machine is going to bring it out to you, or they have it to a waiter or waitress is bringing it out to you right now, but they're about to be replaced.
They would be called a food runner.
It would be a food runner now. You ain't
They
getting
don't take
more
no
than money.
orders.
No. The restaurant said, "Oh no, dog." Papa Doe said, "Oh no, you're not gonna come be no waiter or no waitress and leave out this mofo with $1,000 in tips. That's supposed to be our money."
That part.
So no, we're gonna replace your ass with a robot.
Yep.
And a guy said the other day, well, these robots cost $100,000. No, know your research, homeboy. Robots right now you can get at $16,000. Okay, it folds up like a damn briefcase and put that bad boy to work. And so this, my friends, this is where we gotta really be able to up our game, up our level, and change the way that we're utilizing our time and our viewpoint of where we're going. And it's already here as we continue to share. So with that being said, you guys know the drill. Love.
I'm going to start it off today. We'll change things up. Love.
Kindness.
Integrity.
But most importantly,
commitment.
And consistency.
And until next time.
Toodles.
Bye, guys. Thanks for being here. Don't forget tomorrow, the tour field trip to the metaverse. Join us, y'all. Thank you for being here.
Yes, we'll see you guys later. Have a great day.